I love Lucha Libre, I loathe and despise Jack Black, so what did I think of Nacho Libre? Well, I bet you had no idea that Nacho Libre was based off a real person. Let's take a brief look at his life. Seen here is Father Sergio Gutierrez Benitez saying Mass, but that wasn't his only calling in life. For over 20 years he wrestled Estrella Tormenta in order to have money for an orphanage he ran and supported. You might be wondering how you take such a serious story and turn it into a deadpan comedy. Well, let's take a closer look. The opening credits show young Ignacio dressed up like a luchador named Nacho at the orphanage he grew up in. The brothers don't approve, and for punishment I assume they send him to the kitchen to cook meals for everyone. The film transitions to years later where we see Ignacio has become a brother himself and the orphanage's head chef. So far it's been established that Ignacio is a cook. Let's see what route they go with the opening joke. Are they going to have him trip and spill the food everywhere? Or perhaps, maybe someone's going to insult his cooking.
How come we can't ever have just like a salad?
Be grateful one, Pablo. Today is especially delicious.
God damn it, I wasn't serious about that. What? Now we're in church? Well, Ignacio doesn't seem to be paying too much attention, as we can clearly see he's doodling a picture of a luchador. And what's with this creepy fat kid? Stop freaking me out, man. Despite this kid freaking me out, he is one of the few that made me laugh while watching this movie. So, kudos to him. Time to introduce Nacho's love interest. Because, you know, that's what a comedy film about a religious fighting luchador absolutely needs. Seriously, I have no idea why this woman's here other than being eye candy. She's not a bad actress by any stretch of the means, but ultimately her character serves really no purpose. You could remove her from the movie and not notice she's gone. Ignacio's superior tells him to go perform last rites on an elderly man he believes to be dead. And honestly, would you be surprised to know that he's not?
May he rest in peace.
What really sucks about this is that I'm only 10 minutes in, yet I feel like it's been 40 because how slowly paced and boring this movie is. Please, something happen, quickly! We see Nacho trying to pick up some thrown away chips when a homeless guy jumps him and they fight for him. Well, finally, something's happened at least. Nacho's down on his luck, but when he turns the corner, he sees one of his favorite luchadors, Ramses, played by former WCW superstar Silver King. What, did you expect someone good, like El Dandy? I'd talk about Silver King's performance, but there's really not much to it. His first appearance is nothing more than walking around and being adored by fans, and we get the idea that Nacho is starstruck by the luchador. This is also the part in the movie where Nacho sees an ad looking for new wrestlers and offering money for those interested in doing so. And I've got to say, why is this ad in Spanish? True, this movie is set in Mexico. However, I've seen more Spanish in a Speedy Gonzales cartoon than this movie. Everyone speaks English. Later that night, Nacho and the love interest are hanging out when we find out that Nacho, just like any man, wants a little bit of respect from the brothers at the orphanage.
Today, I saw a man in town. People were throwing daisies at him and giving him goodies. Sometimes I would like that kind of respect.
Who was this man?
Well, to tell you the truth, he was a luchador.
Wrestling is ungodly, Ignacio.
Much to my surprise, this is one of the better scenes in the movie. And I really did get a kick out of when Nacho told us about his parents.
My mother was a Lutheran missionary from Scandinavia, and my father a deacon from Mexico. They tried to convert each other, but they got married instead.
See, that joke's pretty good. Let us continue. In what I assume must be divine wisdom, Ignacio gets the bright idea to pick a fight with the homeless guy from before, in order to test him out as a tag team partner. Well, I guess I've seen stupider things.
Don't you see? Your skills plus my skills in the ring. Tag team!
Well, time for a training montage.
Days approaching to give it your best, and you've got to reach your prime. That's when you need to put yourself to the test and show us the passage of time. We're gonna need a montage, a sports training montage. Show that things happening at once, remind everyone of what's going on, and with every shot show a little improvement to show it all would take too long. That's called a montage. Even Rocky had a montage. In any sport, if you want to go from just a beginner to a pro, you need a montage. Simple little montage. Always played out in a montage.
I've been waiting to use that one for a while now, and as you can imagine, they job in their first match. Much to my surprise, the wrestling in this film isn't just played for slapstick comedy, and it's pretty good for those unfamiliar with wrestling or Lucha Libre in general. Yeah, there are some obvious comedic bits to the wrestling, but it never feels distracting or insulting as a fan of Lucha Libre, because the in-ring work being done is better than average to what you would see typically in this type of film. Unfortunately, the ending of the match is pretty stupid. Nacho gets drop-kicked, and somehow, because of this, he loses the match. C'est la vie, I suppose. Seriously, I don't understand that ending. Did the screenwriter not know that wrestling matches end in pinfall, submission, or countout? Because, really, I can't explain it. After doing the J.O.B., Nacho and his partner get paid.
What's this?
It's money. What did you think?
But we lost.
We all get a piece. Listen, the people, they like you guys. Come back next week, and I'll get another fight for you.
Well, I've learned one thing from Nacho Libre. You don't need years of wrestling training to become a luchador in Mexico. You just need a friend to put shit on your face and then shoot you with a bow and arrow. We see that Nacho's improved his meals with the money he's earned. Granted, it's all salads, and I'm not too sure how much of an improvement that is over soup. We also see his homeless tag team partner working on Nacho's new ring attire. Well, he's got himself a set of wrestling gear now. Let's check out the final look.
Chancho.
So many questions. Why did you leave the door open while you were getting dressed in your luchador gear? And why is that kid staring? Well, it's a good thing Nacho isn't Catholic, or this scene could have even been that much more awkward. Nacho does tell the little butterball a bit of advice.
When you are a man, sometimes you wear stretchy pants in your room. It's for fun.
Don't worry, I won't tell nobody.
Is anyone else creeped out by that, or is it just me? Time for another match, and this time Nacho and his partner face their toughest match to date, a team of satanic midgets. Allow me to collect myself. You have midgets beating up Jack Black in the middle of a wrestling ring. So many friends of mine that I've talked to about this movie hated it. Sure, it's not funny, very little actually goes on, and it's poorly paced, but come on, enjoy the ride. Midgets beating up Jack Black. Who the hell wouldn't like to see that? And once again, I'm impressed with the in-ring work, as this time we see the more traditional high-flying style of Lucha Libre. And while I was watching, I thought this isn't that bad of a way to introduce someone to Lucha Libre as a wrestling style. And I say this because everything going on is insanely athletic, as well entertaining. Sure, it's a bit unbelievable to think that midgets could do this to full-grown men, but I like to think they were injected with Black Hand super serum from Champions of Justice. Yep, I threw in a Champions of Justice reference. If you're not familiar with the movie, why aren't you? I did a review for it. In fact, go watch it right now. Really? You've decided to come back for more? Hopefully during the break you checked out the review of Champions of Justice and realized how cool an actual Lucha Libre film can be. Not much has happened besides more filler of Nacho and his tag team partners' lives improving. Also, Nacho tells the boys at the orphanage that he's never wrestled, and he also tells his tag team partner that he has a crush on the nun. Nacho and the nun go out on a date where Nacho's tag team partner is supposed to jump them, and Nacho's supposed to be all heroic and save the day. However, things don't always go according to plan.
You think you're gonna...
I think he's over here.
I'm still not getting the hate for this movie. Can you honestly look me in the eye and tell me you've never wanted to punch Jack Black in the face? After that nonsense is over, as if this film couldn't manage to get any stupider, Nacho and his partner go on a hunt for a giant eagle's egg to help them no longer be losers. This, of course, is followed with a montage of them getting their asses kicked even more and losing. 45 minutes into this movie, and I finally have to ask this question. What's the story of this movie? What's it about? Sure, you can say it's about the life of Nacho, but really, character-based films tend to, you know, have interesting characters. Nacho's not one of them. I'm praying, give me a story, please.
I need professional help. I need Ramses. He's the best. We need to get in with him and his buddies. We must learn their ways.
What's that? We're getting a story now? My prayers have been answered? Well, why couldn't this happen 40 minutes ago? The ambiguously Mexican duo find Ramses' manager after the event and pretty much spill out a ton of exposition for the audience.
His name is Senor Ramon. He's Ramses' manager, and he owns all of the big arenas. He's having a party tomorrow night. We need to go and show him we mean business.
Little details will drive you crazy in a movie if you're not enjoying it, so I have to say, I will believe Nacho knows who Ramses' manager is. However, how does he know he's throwing a party? Nowhere in the movie do they previously indicate that Ramses' manager is throwing a party. So, how does he know? They don't show anything saying he would. Ugh! What I assume is the next day, Nacho and his orphans are walking around the market when they see Ramses and not the LWO. The kids want Ramses' autograph and he ignores Nacho and then shoves him, setting up the feud I'm sure no one wanted to see, Silver King versus Jack Black. I hate saying this, but it's absolutely true. Nacho Libre made the build-up between Rip and Zeus in No Holds Barred look awesome by comparison to this. We see Nacho and his partner trying to crash the party, but they're stopped by security. His partner hops over a wall to sneak in, and Nacho sneaks in with the band. But ultimately, we only learn really one important thing at this party.
So you want to make a name for yourself, Horseface. Win the Battle Jam next week. The winner will fight Ramses in exhibition in front of 5,000 people. Then you will be a pro.
Well, this has become a sports movie all of a sudden. I'm sure his partner's gonna yell at him, and that someone's going to tell him he has other responsibilities.
That's probably why we never win.
We never win because you are fat.
Well, I'm one of one. Show me responsibility.
Ignacio, you have a responsibility to these children.
I was absolutely not serious about that. Nacho goes to pray for some guidance about his wrestling career and comes to the realization it's all been done for helping the orphans. Of course, his robe catches fire and he runs out of church. His robes are burned a good bit and reveal his lucha gear to everyone at the orphanage. He's then excommunicated. That's a bit harsh.
No, this is forbidden.
I knew it. He is not a man of God.
Nacho then lets everyone know what he plans to do with the money if he wins the Battle Jam, and I gotta say, it is kind of touching.
Tonight, I will fight the 7 strongest men in town. Maybe the world. And I will win. Because our Heavenly Father will be in the ring with me. And he and I will win 10,000 pesos. And with it, I will buy the orphans a big bus to go on field trips to parks and places like that. I'm serious.
The finals of the Battle Royal come down to Nacho and Silencio, and shockingly enough, Nacho doesn't win. That's a pretty sweet tombstone pile driver you got there, Silencio. Obviously, the filmmakers weren't aware that the pile driver is illegal in Mexico and grounds for disqualification. Therefore, Nacho should have actually won this battle royal, but I guess it's too bad that they didn't know that now, wasn't it? Nacho collects his stuff and moves out of the orphanage and starts to live off the land. His tag team partner comes to tell him that Silencio has been injured, and we see how. And now, what you've all been waiting for say the last 20 or so minutes, Ramses versus Nacho. And for the final time, I'm going to say the in-ring work is really enjoyable. Ramsey dominates early on in the match, as we see he's been on pro much longer than Nacho, so it only makes sense. It's only when the nun appears that Nacho finally gains the upper hand due to a surge of adrenaline or motivation. Although, once again, I'm left questioning, what's with the incredibly stupid finishes? Unless this match was Falls Count Anywhere and I missed it, I don't really see why pinning outside the ring makes any sense whatsoever. And is it me, or isn't this the most incredible swan dive plancha you've ever seen?
It's my temple, the whole wide world. That's why I think I am.
Nacho's victorious. Are you really surprised? Let's see how he celebrates. The story ends with Nacho taking the kids on a field trip on their brand new bus. Despite me hating Jack Black and hearing horrible things about Nacho Libre, I went in with an open mind. And I've gotta say, ultimately, the film's just forgettable. If it weren't for the fact that I do a show about movies about professional wrestling, I don't think I would remember it at all. But I also have to say, I've seen way worse. Remember, this is the Pile Driving Critique, where professional wrestling meets pop culture.
I rely